A woman merely took a nap with her eyes open, but when she woke up, she discovered that her armpit hair had somehow grown several inches long. Perplexed, she went to the hospital where she usually worked, only to find that the once crowded hospital had suddenly become deserted. Feeling very uneasy, she hurriedly tried to make a phone call for help, but there was no signal. The entire hospital had become eerily quiet. She went to the surveillance room to find out why, and discovered a tape recorder emitting a strange noise. The woman rushed out onto the street in a panic, but what she saw shocked her to the core. The streets that should have been bustling with people were completely empty, and the entire town was terrifyingly quiet. A sense of inexplicable unease gripped her heart. She knocked on every door, hoping someone could answer her questions. However, no matter how hard she tried, she received no response, as if everyone in the town had vanished overnight. She squatted on the ground in despair, unable to understand what had happened. At night, she returned home to rest, hoping to wake up and find herself back in the real world. Suddenly, music drifted from afar. The woman quickly got up to investigate, pulled out her weapon for self-defense, and bravely stepped out of her house. She followed the sound of the music and cautiously entered the eerie house. Just then, a voice startled her. But when she saw the man who had survived just like her, she couldn't hide her joy. Through talking with the man, she learned that he had experienced the same thing, waking up to find everyone had disappeared. Out of boredom, he had turned to music to relieve the stress. So, the two of them ran to the police station for help, only to find it was also deserted. Left with no choice, they tried to save themselves by finding broadcasting equipment and attempting to send a distress signal via radio. But after a busy spell, they discovered that both the radio station and the walkie-talkies had mysteriously lost their signals. With no other options, they decided to drive away from the town. But before they could get very far, a huge black fog blocked their path. The man slowly approached the fog and tentatively reached his hand into it, only to feel unbearable pain the moment he touched it. They had no choice but to turn back, only to be shocked to find that the town was now surrounded by fog in all directions. Even more terrifying, the horrifying black mist was visibly closing in on them. They quickly left and headed to higher ground, where they saw that the black fog had surrounded the entire town, trapping them inside. Unable to leave, the two could only drive around looking for an exit. Just then, the woman spotted a familiar-looking restaurant, and they went inside. Upon entering, they were surprised to find it full of people. They hurried over to greet them, but strangely, the people seemed unable to see the two of them. Just as they were puzzling over this, the woman suddenly saw her younger self. She remembered that this seemed to be the restaurant her mother had taken her to for her 12th birthday, which explained why everything here was so familiar. However, when she tried to touch her mother again, the scene before her eyes suddenly vanished. The confused pair went outside to discuss what had happened. They had both woken up to find the world like this, but couldn't remember anything from before they fell asleep. If this wasn't the real world, how could they leave? Regardless, the black fog was still spreading inward, and they had to find a way out before it engulfed the entire town. They decided to first calculate how long it would take for the fog to cover everything. After repeated tests with a ruler and stopwatch, the man made a shocking discovery. In just 3 days, that terrifying black fog would completely swallow them up.